One of the least favorite parts of my job, being a labor and delivery nurse, is having to knead on a woman's belly after she's had a baby. Actually, it probably feels like we're kneading bread dough, only it's your stomach, and that's exactly what we're doing, but it's all for good reason. It's all for your own good. What happens is after your baby is born, the placenta that was attached to the uterus detaches, and then you either push it out if it's a vaginal delivery, or if it's a C-section, the doctor manually removes the placenta. This leaves all of the vessels that were feeding your baby to still bleed. They're still bleeding. And so your uterus has to cramp down really tight over them and kind of act like a tourniquet and prevent you from bleeding too much. Maternal hemorrhage, unfortunately, still remains one of the #1 complications of childbirth, even in developed countries like the United States. So we want to do whatever we can after you've had the baby to prevent this from happening. There's many things we do to try to prevent this from happening. One of which is giving you as much Pitocin as quickly as we can after you've had the baby, whether it was a vaginal delivery or a C-section. We open your IV wide up and run the Pitocin in because this will stimulate your uterus to contract. But then in the first hour after you've delivered, every 15 minutes, we will come in and we will massage your uterus, or knead it, as you put it, and also check your blood pressure. We're watching for signs of hemorrhage. When we massage your uterus, we're getting any blood that's in there out so that it won't form clots and prevent your uterus from cramping down. And we're also checking the flow to make sure that it's normal and it's not excessive, because of course if we're noticing more blood flow than we'd like, we want to be proactive and stay on top of that so that it doesn't get out of control. Your risk for hemorrhage is highest during the first hour, as I mentioned before, and then the risk goes down slightly from hour to hour, but it's highest the first day. We will continue to monitor you closely, and of course, until you go home, we're still checking your uterus. Now, you can still hemorrhage within 3 months after having a baby, and it would be due to childbirth. So if you're ever at home and you saturate a pad in an hour, that's too much, and you should be seen immediately by a medical professional. Again, this process is just kind of one of those necessary evils associated with having a baby, and do know that we try to be as gentle as we can, even though the process by nature is not very gentle. We only are looking out for your benefit. If you have any other questions in the future, please feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.